2010 in Boston town, the leaves are golden brown. We take the kids to town to see the fair. The big wheel is turning round, we hear that homely sound. We're walking through the crowd in the evening air. See our boy hold his sister near until they're in the clear. You whisper in my ear, that one's going to heaven. You've no idea, do you, what I'd do for you? To have so much to lose is the only feeling. I ran around my time, I stood in every line. I couldn't stop my mind from dreaming of you. When I laid eyes on you, I knew that race was through. And when I spoke to you, I told it so. You said, I think that you're a fool. And I said, I know you do. But I'd run away with you if you ask me nicely. You've no idea, do you, what I'd do for you? To have so much to lose is the only feeling. You've no idea, do you, what I'd do for you? To have so much to lose is the only feeling. 2050 Boston town, the sun is sitting down. It's the only feeling now.
You're listening to Boston Public Radio. I'm Edgar B. Herwick III, and that is Mick Flannery with a song called Boston from his new record, From Red to Blue. Red to Blue, is that the name of the new record,
That's
right?
the one.
And the song's Boston. So I'm going to take a leap here, and I'm going to ask you this question. Is that song about this town, Boston?
You have taken a leap and you were correct.
Excellent.
Congratulations to you.
How'd that song come about?
I was here 2 years ago, and I was staying with a kind of friend of a friend who's living in Cambridge, and is there with his wife and 2 kids. And I was staying in the basement, and it was just kind of a very nice environment to be, to be in. And I think I was inspired to write that song, maybe out of jealousy, perhaps for these people. But that's kind of how it came about, just by watching them, I suppose.
What brought you to Boston?
This man that I mentioned, a friend of mine, he heard me play. His name is Dave Farrell. He was in a band called Ruby Horse, who played here a lot a couple of years ago. They did a good few sessions in the Barn and places like that. And so he had a lot of contacts, and he decided to help me out and bring me over here to do a few shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was he that brought me over here.
I see. So you're originally from Ireland?
Yeah, from Blarney, yeah.
You grew up, music, a big part of your childhood. How did you come to start to play music, to write music?
Well, as you mentioned, the Nirvana song.
Yeah.
That was after some pretty awful time of listening to really bad stuff that my friends were listening to.
Well, what kind of really bad stuff were your friends listening to?
Oh, I remember buying a Shania Twain album because Diana Connor was listening to it, and I liked her.
That's a good reason, though.
Yeah, it was good enough, but I mean...
Did she ever go out with you?
No, I never asked her. I didn't have the balls.
Maybe asking her instead of listening to Shania Twain.
That, in hindsight, that would have been a better approach.
But, hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah.
So a lot of Shania Twain, and then the Nirvana just it changed you, or what?
By the time I heard it, actually, Kurt Cobain was already dead.
Yeah.
I had never heard, I didn't know who he was. I was, living in a kind of woodland area. I didn't know anything that was cool.
Yeah.
So I was kind of disappointed to find that he was dead, as you would be, I suppose.
Yeah.
but prior to that, all music influence there was a good side to it too. My mother's family they used to get together and sing songs in bars in Killarney.
Yeah.
And so the kind of Irish thing is you kind of only be invited if you're going to do something, you know. So you had to do something.
You have to put it's like a potluck, but with music, right, instead of food.
Yeah, yeah. So they were all into Tom Waits and Bob Dylan and Tracy Chapman, and there wasn't much Shania Twain going around.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was good.
Did you take to that stuff? I mean, I think Tom Waits is somebody whose influence, if you listen to a little bit of your music, I think it kind of jumps out at you a little bit.
Yeah, perhaps a bit too much, really.
You know, right through your influences, they say early on anyway, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. So did that stuff hit you right away, or is it something you came to sort of as you've developed, realizing that some of this music that was around you early on, that your mother and her family were doing, that you realize you connect with later?
Later, I suppose, after the influence of the cool that was Kurt Cobain, I suppose I started to play guitar. That was the thing that got me to do that.
Yeah.
And then after that, I came back to buying Tom Waits and Bob Dylan albums. But it was all Nirvana to start with that I was learning on the guitar. So it was later, but it was good to have it. You know, it was good to know where to start.
Yeah. It's good. I'm talking with Mick Flannery. He's a musician, pianist, singer, songwriter, guitar player. He's playing tonight at the Burn in Davis Square. You're going to be there as part of Brian O'Donovan, who's here on this station, does a Celtic Sojourn on the weekends. He has his Burn Backroom series, so this is kind of a part of that. Have you ever played the Burn before?
I was there actually. 2 years ago I was there.
Yeah,
it was good fun. Yeah.
Cool. It's good. You want to do another song for us?
Sure. I might have to. That's not too bad. It actually is bad. Will we live with it?
We'll live. I say we live with it. We're going to live with it. We're listening to Mick Flannery here on Boston Public Radio.
You see them sailor boys, they're coming down the line. They've got it right. They're only here, boy, for one hell of a time. You spent your whole life turning red to blue. Now what have you got? What can you show me that brings any joy to you? You keep running, you keep running. You go run on down that line. They all pair off, they fall in love, and they do fine. I seen you last night and you're falling around the town, but it ain't that hard to find some reason for you to hang around. You hear that silver tongue dripping beads of charm. You dread that fool, for when you meet him, he's gonna do you harm. You do you harm, but you keep running. You go run on down that line. You'll be passing, he will pass. You let him pass. Ooh, that loneliness, it drove you around the bend. You don't know why that had to happen. You only know it did. You're dreaming of her, you're craving all her charms. You can't but cry when you see her in that sailor's arms. She kept running, got you ran on down that line. She messed around, she settled down, and then did fine. Tell me a story, and you tell me about the pain of California. Good on you, you're sleeping in the rain. You sought that heartache to see how it felt. You hapless fool, you couldn't help it. And you did this to yourself. You did this to yourself. Ooh,
is Boston Public Radio. I'm Edgar B. Herwick III. We're in studio with a live performance from Mick Flannery. He's going to be playing at the Burren in Davis Square tonight, singer-songwriter from Ireland.